Hey, we're live. 30 seconds of intro, a little bit late. Justin's got connectivity issues. Not the only issues Justin has got this week. He'll be a Manchester United fan. Get straight in there with that. We've got a new guest this week as well. We got James. James, I can never say your last name, but I love Zimbabwe, and I don't want to steal Ben's jokes. We'll say no more about that until we get onto it. Welcome, guys. Another fun week. Are we all excited for the weekend?
Very excited.
I'm excited. A little bit scared. It's a tough one this weekend for Arsenal, but we'll see how it all works out.
Yeah, I think Arsenal have a good drubbing this weekend. James, to be honest, I think it will be 3-0 to the
Liverpool.
You reckon? I think Liverpool aren't going to concede.
Yeah, that's. I don't mind. You think they're going to win? They're not going to concede. That's quite impressive.
They got to do a clean sheet at some point, right? And
well, you have to defend to get a clean sheet, and so far, on the evidence of this season and the Community Shield, I'm not sure that that's going to happen. But we'll see.
What second did you say? Liverpool or Arsenal that win 3-0?
No,
I guess he said Liverpool.
I was going to say. I mean, for me, like I was just speaking to a friend, and I've. One of my players who was on my potential out list is Kerkez. I have not at all been impressed with this dude. It's only been a couple of games, I know, but he's had a couple of bad games, man.
Who's that? Who's that, mate?
Kerkez.
Has he had a bad game? I don't know if he's had. He's just not scoring any points for you because I don't think he's had any sort of direct assists.
He came on his first game. He was getting absolutely. I think he got pulled off after like what 50 odd minutes,
56 minutes or something.
Wasn't being particularly effective in this previous game. I think he made a couple of mistakes, to be honest.
Right, okay.
I could be wrong, but I haven't been happy.
Bit at fault for the one of the Newcastle goals, wasn't he? His defending of like his attempt to clear it was basically turn his back on the ball, wasn't it? Which is
that's just the one exactly. There you go, mate.
I definitely
don't think I'm so one-dimensional. That's all about FPL. I mean, it is, but like,
yeah, I think Liverpool can keep a clean sheet though, guys.
Yeah, for sure.
So James, we've this is our second time this season in Game Week 3. We'll have next week off because it's international break. You're more than welcome to join whenever you feel like to come and have a chat because we're having a little bit of fun on here. Nicola Illich is threatening to come on, but since Ben smashed him last year,
destroyed him. It was like 2 or 3 places in my head that's destroyed him.
He hasn't come along. I know you're in the. Let's just get up the fantasy website here. You're in the Sequel Family League, aren't you? Ben isn't in that for some
reason.
I feel so excluded. It's the second time you've mentioned this league, which you haven't invited me to. You're just trying to make me feel bad about myself.
Well, I think I don't know how it works. I can invite you now. I don't know if it'll let you in now. In truth, I think it's
you can add. I mean, we can send out an invite.
It's just. I mean, I can always do with another league that I'm definitely not going to win. So I mean, I've moved up to second in my family league, the Ferries League. I'm second in that now.
And how many's in it too?
How dare you, sir? 5. No, that's not true. 6 because for some reason my brother has 2 teams because he didn't know how to do it and accidentally put in 2 teams.
Okay. Come on. So James, I can see you're languishing. You haven't started.
Yeah, I've had a terrible start. Terrible start.
17th. I thought I'd had a bad start, but
I've suffered from 2 captaincy disasters. I had Parma in week 1 who did absolutely nothing, and I really thought Parma against who did they play in week 1? Crystal Palace at home. I thought that was a good shout, and he didn't do anything. And then I had Saka this past weekend against Leeds in a game that Arsenal won 5-0, and he got a goal, but he went off after 51 minutes or whatever. Again, didn't really maximize that. Could easily have turned out a lot better if he'd stayed on for another 20 minutes. But yeah,
he probably got a few more goals.
Context, can we say when you say that you had a bad start, put it in terms of points because.
He's currently languishing. I like these words coming out now where I can talk about other people's teams languishing. No, James is normally at the top of this division. He's on 84 points. James.
Oh, that is bad.
And then Jason Howard, who also normally does very well, he's also had a bad start. He's on 80.
I'm on 107, so I'm feeling better about myself.
Oh, me and you are matched then, and Justin's old Scorio is on 114.
Oof.
14, he's better manager than Amarin. Oh my god, that's amazing.
Oh,
Do you also hate your players and want to leave, just like Amarin said?
yeah. Sometimes I want to leave. Sometimes I want to stay for 20 years. Something like that, isn't it?
Oh man, yeah. It's I was really considering wildcarding this week, but I think I'm going to hang on until after the transfer window's closed. It was just on the Saturday. I was like, this is just probably my worst ever start. It picked up a little bit. It's been bad, man. It's been really bad.
James, as an Arsenal fan, Ben, do you think Eze's going to play this weekend? That's a.
I suspect he plays. I'm not sure if he starts, but he will definitely play some part. If Odegaard is injured, then yes. If Odegaard misses out through his injury, then yes, Eze will probably start. If not, then I don't know. We'll see. Because my prediction is that Arteta will put Madueke on the right in Saka's spot, and then he's going to work out whether to play Eze, Martinelli on the left from the start. Martinelli has a really good record against Liverpool, so he may plump for that history. I think he scored 6 in the last 8 against Liverpool or something.
Fingers crossed he's out then, and fingers crossed he plays Eze, who doesn't score against Liverpool. So
sure.
Traditionally,
fair enough. So but we'll have to see how it kind of works out.
Cool.
Excited about Eze though.
I think he'd be a very good signing for Arsenal. I think he's a very good player. So Ben, you were talking about you saving your wild card till after I think that's probably the safest thing to do.
Yeah.
Justin was contemplating after last week's very strange set of events where Palmer got injured in the warm up and
True.
You had a few others drop out, mate, didn't you? Are you playing any chips this week?
So I haven't yet. I guess. So I get the problem I had. So in the end, I had a reasonably good week, right?
Yeah, 59 points. I can see. Yeah.
So it was again just above average. So yeah, the thing that I've got a problem with at the minute is that Palmer's now out. He seems to have been confirmed to be not playing this game week.
Yeah.
And Saka is also out. And I've got Ollie Watkins up front, and Aston Villa seem like they're still in pre-season or something. I don't know. So yeah, I got a handful. I've all of a sudden started to dislike my team, which is I guess it is a reasonably decent trend for this week. But yeah, so I was looking at it thinking I don't know, but I think if I was going to pull a card, it might be the one of the free hits.
Yeah.
So and I had it in mind that I'd keep the wild card until all the transfers are done to see where we land, because I got a feeling it looks like Isaac might be on the move, and he'd be but yeah, I don't know.
I've kept Haaland in my team and Ollie Watkins, and I've got all the transfers in play. As soon as he moves, he's coming in. Isaac, if he gets to Liverpool before the window, he's coming into my team straight away.
Okay.
It's interesting because Ekiteke started so well, like you're almost wondering if that start makes them go, do we actually need him?
Yeah, I've had that as a thought. Yeah, they will buy him though, I would have thought, just because it's just because I would be very excited by that prospect of having like all these awesome players. But you are right, James. The start they've had, they're going, should we just save 150 million and
buy some defenders?
Buy a defender, yeah.
Well, maybe that's what I was going to say, that they can either buy a defender and just concede. Okay, maybe this season we're going to concede quite a few goals. We need to score loads. So we definitely need to buy Isaac as well. I mean, this is also
nobody wins a title by outscoring anybody. Was it goals for show or it's basically defenses win your leagues, and
that's true.
Liverpool want to win it again. That's my. So I think they need to go and get Gahey, and they've just bought they've got a defender from somewhere, but he's more one for the future, I think. If they go and get the centre half from Palace, and if he wants to come and Palace want to sell him, then I'd probably rather if they could only have one at this point, I'd be like, well, there's loads of goals in the team. Let's go and defend a bit so we can win the games that we might be struggling.
And the transfer window closes, and then Ekiteke gets injured, and then
but you can, you're right. I mean, maybe they do need depth. I don't know. I feel like Liverpool have a lot of attacking depth, though. I realize is a. I'm trying to think who's Gakpo, Ekiteke, and Salah obviously starting, and then it gives
the young boy as well who scored.
Well,
I can't remember his name.
That was amazing.
You think though they've lost 3 attacking players, so they've sold
Nunez and Diaz,
and obviously they lost Jota as well, and they've only replaced him really with Wirtz and
Ekiteke.
So I guess
I've been reading. Sorry, I was just going to say I've been reading in the Athletic the reason they haven't gone and got a replacement for his name's just gone. You just said his name's gone. My brain. The one who went to Bayern Munich. Luis Diaz. They haven't got a direct replacement for him because the young boy they want to leave a pathway clear for him to play. So I think they're seeing this as his breakthrough season. So I think they're seeing him as Luis Diaz's replacement.
Yeah, still young. He's just not young. I mean, sure, but he's got to be in and out. There's no way. I can't imagine he's going to be
not going to play tons of minutes.
Yeah.
I mean,
so I don't know. Are they? Who knows? It would just be hilarious if they don't actually sign him now after the absolute mess that's been made of.
All right, so there's been a mess. It hasn't been done very well, but that's not Liverpool's doing, right? With Isaac.
No. But no, it'd just be hilarious.
Yeah, it doesn't happen. All this fuss is. Yeah.
Whoever you point the finger at, it is been a mess, isn't it? For everybody.
I think I would say it's also quite a shared responsibility between, also Liverpool could have been a bit more. I mean, obviously we have no idea what's being said between the two clubs, what's being communicated. All we read is what's in the press, right? But it's kind of weird that there's no offer coming through. It's kind of very much kind of waiting to see. I mean, are they waiting until Newcastle sign essentially a replacement? Have Newcastle said we're not going to sell unless we get a replacement, so Liverpool can't do anything?
I think in effect that's what they've said. Yeah,
that is basically what they've said, and they did sign. Well, they're on the verge of signing this guy from the Bundesliga. So they will have that, but I would still say they're short because they lost Callum Wilson as well, so they can't. In a similar vein to what you just said about replacing, you can't replace two strikers with one. So I don't know.
With respect to Callum Wilson, he didn't. Him and Isaac never played or really played together.
No, you're right.
But they do need. Again, it comes down to depth. But Wolves, they've made a bid for Wolves for Strand Larsen, which Wolves have rejected 2 of.
But this is what I wanted to say, though. Do you think, as a Newcastle fan, it gets to the point where you're putting in offers on your 6th choice forward because the first, and it doesn't feel good. It's like you're replacing someone who's a fantastic player with someone who, after you're going to potentially buy after you've already been rejected by 3 or 4 different players. The kind of same thing when you get in that manager, in a similar situation. It just feels odd,
Yeah, it does. No, I mean,
inspire with confidence.
And strangely enough, the two I thought Liverpool. I mean Newcastle. I avoided Newcastle in my fantasy drafts and that because I just thought they were going to struggle so much. And actually, they've looked very good in both of their games. They should easily have beaten Villa. I don't know how they didn't. And really, they should have beaten Liverpool on Monday night. They had the better chances, Gordon, absolutely idiotic to get himself sent off. But even so, they still dominated, or at least had parity in the second half. And had that game finished in a draw, it would not have been an unfair reflection on the game. So
Not at all.
it's been strange how well they've played. I've been very surprised.
Yeah, this is a striker basically, isn't they?
Yeah, I was just going to start the words I was going to say. They didn't beat Villa because they had no one to score the goals.
100%. And Liverpool.
Yeah,
they missed.
Really good. They have looked really good on them. Right. Yeah, looked really good in both games.
Which could potentially bring us, by the way, just to my frustration of having Ollie Watkins in my team.
I've got Ollie Watkins as well.
It's just like, come on, man, can
I
you
think
do
we
something?
all do.
Yeah, I mean, it was.
Four of us have him, so.
The thing is, I'm holding on to him for this game week because law of averages says he's got to score at some point, and Villa have got to get off the mark at some point. So I suspect that'll be this weekend, or it'll be after the international break because he's been called up for England. And I'd have moved him out of my team at that point for João Pedro, who will probably break his leg on international duty and be out for 6 months, which is normally how this works.
Legally has to happen.
It's just the way it is. But yeah, I've held on to him for now because I think his XG is awful. Though you look at the sort of stats and data, he hasn't had a particularly good start to the season in terms of chances and things.
I was looking at of course, because I'm a data nerd. I think maybe I'm in good company there. I was looking at my stats. I have a report, and I thought I'd done something wrong because the numbers seemed incorrect in the upcoming difficulty of the games, because there was 5 clubs and none of them had a fixture that was rated over like a 3 in the upcoming 6 game weeks. And I've never seen that. I've never, and I literally see it because I look at my report every week.
Show us your report, Ben. This is a data show. Show us your report. Go on.
I'm not showing it because it potentially looks crap, because at the start of the season it always looks crap because the data is weird, right?
That's all right.
See if I can pull it up. If I can make it look non-terrible, that's fine.
Do you have a report on this stuff, James?
I don't have one actually for normal FPL, but I've got one for our draft league. I don't know if you guys play draft.
No, I don't play
FPL. That is, we have a group of 10 of us here, well, friends from school and whatever, plus other people, but all quite knowledgeable football people. And we've played it. I think this is the 5th year we've done it. It's really great because it's not, your differential is not like 89% of people have Saka and you don't, or whatever it is. It's like one person has Haaland and one person has Salah, and like, how do you make up for that? So it's really, I do enjoy that. So I've got a big Power BI semantic model with all of that going on, and it tracks our history and all of that. So
I'm definitely I'm the odd one out to the minute then. So I'm going to have to figure out and start putting some
FPL
data.
has an amazing open API.
Yeah.
Very, very good.
I've looked at it in the past, just not. I go on. Look at on the eye test, I guess.
Yeah, that's honestly, I use all this stuff, but at the end of the day, I just don't know enough about football, so I'm just not very good. This much, by the way, I always have to say this visual here looks blurry because I'm using the Microsoft, so I'm using Edge. But it works better in a non-Microsoft product because I'm using Deneb, of course, it's made Deneb. So anyway, this is what I'm talking about. These clubs, it was actually more extreme because we had a couple of game weeks. It was like these clubs here or something, these all had this like very like Sunderland, like a newly promoted team. Like Spurs also, that's why I'm also wary of Spurs. Got really, nice that they got that nice run in, but it's not really a true indicator of,
Yeah, but for those game weeks, you're going to go, well, they're probably going to do well here, so let's get some.
Well, that for sure. That of course, it's good for that. I'm simply saying that there was the group of like 5 teams that had very
easy games.
Easy.
By comparison.
Yeah, exactly. Anything like 4 and 5 is a tough game, of course. But having nothing like just 2s and 3s in your first like 6, and I was looking because of course I support Sunderland, right? And I read that there is no team has ever been relegated after getting 11 points in the first 10 games. Something like that.
That's normally that stat there was quoted in the week as being, if you're on that after those number of games, you've got a good chance of qualifying for Europe.
Okay, fair enough. So, but I was thinking, like,
But it's the same thing. It's probably the same. Yeah, principle.
exactly.
It's a good start.
So obviously, right? if we could try and just for what am I trying to use? Just to your mental strength that you have a good start of the season. Of course, we bet West Ham. That's another conversation topic, by the way, because West Ham have been absolutely shocking.
Yes.
We've got some good. I mean, Brentford on a tough game. Well, we got a chance to pick up some points. I find it really funny. Sorry, Justin, that Man United are also a 3, by the way.
I saw that, and I just, how the mighty have fallen. We're a 3 in there. There we go.
Yeah.
I'll be honest with you, mate. I think 3's generous, to be honest. Honestly, I'm not even saying that for a fact. You're so poor. I thought your new signings would have done good, but they haven't quite gelled or got together yet. But last season, you were.
I mean, I'm seriously considering bringing in 2 Man United players this weekend for my. Well, I've got 3 injuries in my team that I need to compensate for, and I'm only going to take 2 of them out because I've only got 2 free chances. But I'm seriously considering bringing in 2 Man United players because they've got a decent run coming up. But they've got a particularly good game this weekend against Burnley, and you think that after the shock of the last 2 matches, they could actually kick themselves into gear and do something. One of those. Oh, he's on the brink. Oh, but we won 4-0 this weekend, so maybe the seeds are showing. And then for 3 weeks they're crap again, and So I was seriously thinking of bringing in a United defender and a United midfielder.
So I had that thought as well, and I play a game called Last Person Standing or Last One Standing, and I use a lot of this data to try and work out which teams I think will do well. And the reason I would not do that, because I thought about bringing in Cunha and perhaps the old Brentford striker, but I haven't because I have this suspicion, just as how the manager's body language and what he said. I'm not sure he hasn't lost the dressing room. So like. The Mainu wanted to go on loan. Like I've watched, I got a season ticket at Wolves, right? And I watched him score the winning goal when they beat us 4-3, and the kid was brilliant, right? How he's turned him into, how they've suddenly managed to make him useless and can't get in the team. I don't know. He should walk into that side over Casemiro, walk into it. Right, he's quality, and I think he's lost a lot of those players in that dressing room. I don't think a lot of them are playing for him, which is why I'm a bit like I'm not certain.
Well, I have a slightly different. I think one of their big problems is the player that everyone thinks is the one who is not the problem, who's Bruno. Honestly, I think if you drop Bruno and put him play the team without him, that'd be so much better.
I think they should have sold him when they had the offer at the start of the season, end of the season. I agree with that completely.
So maybe Justin got a different take because you're a Man U fan, you watch them more often than me, but I have to say I was really shocked at, I think it was the end of last season or something or whatever, pre-season, where he comes out and says, I definitely want him to stay or something like it. For me, it would have been the first player who was not particularly interested in keeping because I just don't see it. There must be something there, but I just don't see the appeal.
So, I'll start with being a little bit older. Like he's like a petulant child, and I absolutely despise that about him. Right? Like it is ridiculous. However, I guess from a FPL, like through the stats bit in FPL. There's no argument, right? Like even in a really poorly performing team, he picks up points all the time. But
that's because he's on penalties, takes all the corners, he's captain, does everything.
Yeah. But he is his contributions, like it does. Even so, like his contributions are significant, right?
Yeah.
The thing I do not get though, and this is where I cannot comprehend where we are that Mainu is now wanting to leave.
And this is the point I was making, that, and this is why I was agreeing with James about he's a bad egg for Bruno. I don't think he's good for the team. So forget FPL. He gets returns. Harry Kane used to get returns. Tottenham never won anything, right?
I don't know. I mean, who knows? I don't know if he's a bad egg because we don't know, right? We don't know what they are like behind the scenes. But the tantrums are ridiculous, right? But the thing I don't understand is the one thing that he is not is a box-to-box midfielder that needs to play in a 2 that has to cover the pitch and defend. Like, he is supposed to be part. That system has to have 2 like defensive midfielders who are dominating the pitch. That is not his game. And the idea that, so we've signed Cunha to play in a position that really Bruno could have been played in, right? Instead of, and then like marginalized Mainu, who could have been in that midfield. So I don't know. I just find a lot of the decisions being made totally baffling, and I just don't know. Last week I was optimistic, and it has taken a week for me to lose my mind.
But and then going back to it, this is like the decisions that get made. Let's go to Grimsby, right? We've kind of skirted around it a little bit, but let's go back to that game where the League Two side literally played them off the park. Right? They were unlucky. They deserved to win. We've got a query coming. Someone wants to review their team, so if someone wants to reply to that.
Cool. Let's do it. I like that.
Slate Man United. So I think they deserve to win. They spent 80 million quid on Šeško, and he's taking penalty 10. He's your striker. You just paid 80 million quid for him. He's in the fight.
I know, but I'm not concerned with stuff like that. Like, okay, again,
I'm concerned with stuff like that. I think they're making wrong decisions.
Yeah, but in isolation on a one-off, like, I'm not. For me, that's not. I guess I'm more concerned, like, in that thing of like that. It's a pressure situation. He's literally new to the team. I know. I'm more concerned that we got there in the first place. It shouldn't have even gone to penalties.
No, exactly.
So that is the thing. Is like it is what it is. Do you know what I mean?
I was also going to say what the comment was just here was that Xisco. I also heard that he had a bit of cramp and he was struggling. He was scared that he was going to injure himself, so they were trying to avoid him taking the penalty. But yeah, it's one of those. It's interesting. I actually don't care if where he took the penalty, because like just because you're a striker doesn't mean you're necessarily a good penalty taker. I don't think he was a regular penalty taker at Leipzig. And, he's low on confidence. He hasn't scored for the team yet. He's, there's some, he's you don't want to put that guy under the pressure of taking the penalty. It's a lose. For me, it's just a lose-lose situation. You're expected to score. If you score, everyone's just like, man, he did what he was supposed to do. If you miss, you become the villain. And it's kind of
I can understand that. Okay.
I mean, it's a bit like Gyökeres on the first weekend at United. He got terrible press from the in and around the game and whatever. And he had, he'd only trained with the team for 2 or 3 days. They hadn't built up a rapport yet. People didn't know how he was going to make his runs. Blah 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 blah. Like, it was actually a lot of pressure to put on the Oak to start up front that day, and maybe in hindsight, Arteta should have gone Havertz to start and Gyökeres to come on as a sub, if depending on what was going on. Maybe I don't know. It was just one of those.
It's just a massive. There is a massive uplift in like the intensity. Like, pick any of the new players, with the exception, actually, I guess of you think like Wirtz has not settled, right? Player in the Prem now. He hasn't settled, and I think it is a big step up from some of the divisions, like the intensity of the game, the pace. Gyökeres will come good. He's just a brute of a striker, and it's just one game. Like,
I'm not certain on him because he was terrible for Coventry in the Championship, wasn't he? He didn't do particularly well for Coventry in the Championship.
But some players develop. Some players develop later. Like, you often find players who are, failed at this academy, didn't make it, and then 25, 26, they come good. And,
exactly. Yeah.
Sorry, Eze.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Look, he by all accounts, he was quite unlucky to be dropped and moved on from various things, but he had some injuries and stuff. But still, it's a good point. There he is. He's been outstanding for Palace for the last 2-3 seasons. He's looks like a world beater. He's playing for England now, and yeah, I mean the guys have let him go. Even Harry Kane had 3 pretty disastrous loan spells before he came back to Spurs, and there was big talk that he might not that he might be sold to sort of Div 2 or whatever it was. Yeah, I think some players just develop a little bit later. I'm not particularly worried that because of Gyökeres, what happened at Coventry or at Brighton. I am worried that that Arsenal have to change their style of play a lot to accommodate him. But I also think that what Arteta did with buying him is giving the team versatility. I think if Havertz wasn't injured, I don't think there's any chance that Gyökeres would have started this weekend, for instance. I would have 100% expected Havertz to start up front against Liverpool in the game where Arsenal want to control the ball and don't expect them to bulldoze. Then yeah, he would have started Havertz and played the way he's played the last couple of seasons against the Big Six, where he's had fantastic results. But he's buying Gyökeres for the teams that are sitting back, giving you a lot of the ball. And as you say, he's a wrecking ball. I mean, he just goes through players, he goes around players, he makes things happen. And that's what you need against those teams where they're sitting in their 16-yard box and they've got, 11 behind the ball all the time. So yeah, I think it was more the versatility than anything.
Yeah.
Cool. Right, so Ed Vixer says doesn't know how to do that. So I'm just going to quickly
show him.
Yeah, show him. Yeah, go on, Ben.
So if you're still watching, mate, the easiest way to do it is
you need to share, mate. You need to share.
Yeah, I'm gonna just give me Jesus Christ, man. It's so demanding, you know what I mean?
He says transferred Saka and Ndiaye for Mbu and Cunha.
So if he's still watching, you can go here.
He is. He's still there. Yeah.
All right, cool. If you just this is not good. It's not showing my Euro, but it's good. If you go any league you're in, so let's go to whatever my Ferries league, the important one, yeah. And then I can just go to any team name. So let's go to the top. And then when you go to, you can't see my, but and when you click on your team name, at the top it will say fantasypremierleague.com/entry/number. That's the number that we need basically. So when you click, just go through the league. And then when you're in the league that you're in, click on your own team. It'll bring up a URL. Just give us a number after the /entry, basically.
So anyway, he's picked Mbumo and Cunha this week then. What do you reckon of that?
As I said before, I think it makes a lot of sense. I think United are going to thump Burnley this weekend. I fully expect them to keep a clean sheet, and I would say 3 or 4-0 is my guess. It's just one of those. Sometimes you get a feeling, and then I may be wrong, but sometimes you get a feeling that like there's so much negativity that everyone's just going to put their shit aside and go for it. And I think that's what's going to happen. I think Cunha and Mbuma are both good picks this weekend. I would not be surprised if both of them score, or certainly if one of them scores.
And 1 assist. Edvix, you said, there you go, lad. We still can't see your ID, mate.
I'm just saying, don't send the link. Just send the number. It doesn't matter. Just whatever. If you want to send, if you send just the number, that's enough. We can fill in the rest. We can fill in the blanks. I'm saying.
So I think one of the issues. So I was looking at my team. One of the things I am actually in danger at the minute. I guess a lot of people is. So I've lost value in my team this week.
Me too.
Saka's been taken out by so many. He's dropped in value. So I took out Wan-Bissaka to protect myself from him going down, but Areola's gone down as well. No, he didn't, but Areola has as well. So I'm really struggling with team value right now.
It'll come back.
I just want to quick. So he's transferred in Cunha, we're saying, right?
Yeah.
And
and
Mbumo.
I would not transfer in Cunha. I gotta say, look, I'm not good at FPL. I would not transfer in Cunha. I gotta say, like based on what I watched the other day as well. Grimsby. On the camera's
Go
Go on, James.
I don't know. I thought Cunha. I didn't watch them. I didn't really watch the Grimsby match, but I watched both. I watched obviously the Arsenal game on the first weekend, and I watched the Fulham game last weekend. And I thought Cunha was quite dangerous in both of them. He could easily have had against Arsenal. He should have had an assist, and he had a couple of shooting opportunities where he didn't get it right. And against Fulham, I think he should have scored as well. Like he could easily be sitting on 15, 16 points from the two matches. So, he was a great asset last year at Wolves. I used him a lot. I'm sure Gethin would have done it as well if you got a Wolves season ticket. He was a good.
I try not to
FPL
pick
asset.
on that. I try.
Oh, yeah, no, fair enough. But I mean,
but yes, you are right. I did use him.
This is going to sound really sarcastic, and it's not meant that way. I often it's important to remember, as you've just said, which I often don't, to remember about picking players on what they could have scored, because for me initially it sounds ridiculous. He could have had 15 points here, but he had 2. But you're right. It's about the XG thing or the XA or the XGI.
The XG thing across the United transfers this summer though is interesting because
we mentioned this last week.
Cunha got 15 goals last year, and his XG was something like 8.5. And Bowie got 20, and I think his was in and around. I want to say 12 or 13. So they were all punching above what they would be expected to score.
Yeah.
So that is interesting. If they return to normal, they're still going to have a good return, but it's not going to be as much as last year. So
I just feel like with Manchester United, we've been waiting. Sorry, Justin, please.
Oh, I was going to say the fly in ointment is that in other probably more functional teams, those XGs were for more functional teams than United. So hopefully it travels through, but.
I also think sometimes
Wolves were pretty bad last year for a long period. They were terrible for long periods last year. Wolves, just to caveat that. Sorry, James.
I think no. So it's interesting. I've really changed my outlook on fantasy in the last few years because I play fantasy NFL as well now, and I enjoy my NFL. And there's a lot more data and analytics around that than we get. I know FPL is starting to get it because obviously it's growing, it's huge in popularity, whatever. But in terms of the actual analytics, there's a lot on the American football. And the reason there's a lot more is because their scoring is much more balanced. It's not so heavily weighted towards actually scoring touchdowns in their case. It's every yard you make, every yard that you catch the ball, if you pass, you run, every tackle, interception, all of those things. It's a bit like the bonus point system in our FPL. And because of that, it's a lot more predictable. You're not going like XG doesn't vary, but they still have this concept of what they call regression. And it's a regression towards the mean. Basically, you can overperform for a while and you can score more points than you should have because you got touchdowns, because touchdowns still score lots of points and various other things. But they talk about regression, and you can have positive regression and negative regression. So you can be underperforming and you will get a positive regression back to where you should be, or you could be overperforming and you'll get a negative regression. And I've kind of manage a lot of my FPL nowadays based on that, and I don't know how well it is. Well, it's worked because I went from winning this league 2 years in a row to finishing, I don't know, like 12th last year. So maybe it's not working so well. Maybe the eye test was better, but yeah, it's just trying to be a bit more analytical in my decision making.
I find it deeply upsetting, by the way, when someone says they've had a shocking start and basically got like 40 more points than me. This dude got like 77 points in his first game week, and then he got 72 in the second game week.
And top 5,000 in the world.
We should be swapping places, mate. You know what I mean?
Yeah. No, I think let's have a look at this team.
He doesn't say he started badly in first to him. I think.
Did he? I thought he did.
No, he didn't. He said he's transferred out, or he's transferred out Saka and Ndiaye for Cunha and Mbeumo.
I apologize. Yeah.
I think it was a great call to bench Haaland last week. That's like well done. Like that's brave and good decision making to bench Haaland and Watkins and keep in King Reinders and Ninjai and still do well. Like,
and there is a bench.
point,
There is a
actually.
bench boost though. So
there was a bench
Ah,
boost.
did
Right,
bench
didn't
boost.
matter.
Ah,
I
okay,
didn't
okay,
see
okay.
that.
Wasn't
Okay,
that brave then, but it's still
not so brave.
brave.
No. There's a big difference when if you
Kind of
bench
bench is
boost.
better for me. Yeah.
Sorry,
Okay,
okay.
good.
That also helps with the scoring because that's an extra 7 points.
Yeah.
It's still not a massive difference. Yeah, you captain Saka just like I did. It's unfortunate. It was very unfortunate, I must say. Like that felt. You see, I mean, that's like a decision. I wouldn't change that decision going back. I thought that Saka was the best captaincy option last week. In fact, when I've selected my game week 1 team, I put Saka in the team specifically to captain him in game week 2. Like that's the only reason I really brought him in. So from a decision-making point of view, I think like you've done well there. Yeah, I don't know. What else have we got here? Yeah, it's very brave on the
Burnley players in it. Edrix, what's your plan for Burnley this weekend? If you've brought the Man United players in, are you going to be switching your defenders out, expecting the Burnley defence to concede a few, I guess?
What's interesting there is they are all in on United there. Look, so having brought in 2 United players, there is presumably going to be Bruno, Mbeumo, and Cunha. So there's a real reliance on United going big this weekend, isn't there?
Yeah, decent fixture, but. Yeah, I don't know. I feel like Man U are one of these teams. I feel like we've all been waiting them for like a year to have that result that just gets things kick-started. You know what I mean? And this is why you can still quite easily justify. But that one game, from there, I'm set. Yeah. It's been a season, man. It's just not happening.
Yeah, I agree with your decision making for this weekend. I mean, Dubravka, Hartman, and Steve on the bench, and King. So you've brought in Saka. I mean, you brought in Cunha and Mbeumo for Ndiaye and Saka. So you're going to have Sanchez in goal. So you're very reliant on Chelsea keeping a clean sheet this weekend then. Chelsea against West Ham, I mean, not a bad shout. You got a really good chance of it. No, they can't. They're playing West Ham. Sorry, Fulham. Sorry.
But they always smart. I think it was a stat I read this week. It's like 19-3 in Chelsea wins in the amount of times they've played in the Premier League.
Yeah. So you're heavily dependent on a Chelsea clean sheet this week because you got Sanchez, Cucurella, and Tosin, and then Nico Williams at Forest. That's a solid pick. I think Forest have a good chance this weekend. And then your 2 United, Reinders, and then the 3 up front. Your careers, Haaland and Watkins. Yeah, I think that's a solid team this weekend. I wouldn't be upset with any of that.
How do I move the United players after these fixtures?
You see, that's
hold for a bit.
Yeah, it's a tough problem. I wouldn't. If you're planning to move them, I wouldn't have brought them in for 1 week. Like it's the opportunity cost of spending your transfers on players that you only want for 1 week is probably. It's probably not worth it. But I mean,
if you're going to do it, wouldn't it be a good week to do it now? Because you got your 1 week, then you got your international, then you got transfer, and then you can just if you want to wild card, you can.
Yeah, if you want a wild card, no, it's cool. Then it makes sense. But if you're just bringing him in because they've got a good match this weekend, and then you're planning to. So I went slightly differently, or I'm thinking of going slightly differently. I haven't actually committed it yet, but I was thinking of going with the United defender. And possibly one of either Cunha or Mbeumo. I haven't decided whom yet, but that was my thought, and I may not pan out that way. But I do think United defense is more playable against bigger sides than or I think you can rotate them if you the defender I was looking at is Patrick Dogu. He's 4.5. He's cheap. Like I feel like you can rotate him in and out your team as you need him. I haven't got and I've gone against a lot of advice here. I haven't got any non-playable players on my team. All 15 people in my squad, I feel like I'm going to use them all at various points. I know some people like to just load their bench with the cheapest place fillers they can to use extra value on their starting 11.
That's what I do.
And I understand the logic behind that too, but I like the idea of being able to rotate players based on their fixtures, and so yeah, I've kind of thinking of going that way.
Yeah, so I brought in Dorgo as well, and the reason
should I just free hit week 4 and then I would.
Dorgo is quite an attacking presence in that team, and yeah, similarly, he will switch in and out. The only thing I'd say about if you're going to consider taking him in and out, the next few. Look, any sort of idea of form with United, just because of the way I'm even thinking I might say, but they tend to do well against Man City. Historically they do well against Man City, and the next couple of fixtures after that, it's Chelsea at home, Brentford away, Sunderland at home. So, I don't think you have to go mad and pull them all out again, but I wouldn't be. I don't think I would be happy with having 3 United players in my team. I don't tend to like having 3 players from
either with United, to be honest. But
you kind of need to balance the fixtures sometimes, don't you? So yeah, 3 defenders from Chelsea, I guess, is something you might be looking at saying, well, is that going to sustain me through the season? Yeah.
So I think Chelsea's got good fixtures up until about game week 6, game week 7, and then theirs turn, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
So they've got there it is. In fact, it's longer than that. Sorry, I'm thinking of someone else. They've got that one tough game in
one tough and
7,
Jesus Christ.
and then they've got 5 good ones, and then they have a really, really tough run.
I think you could hold Chelsea up to game week 12 at least.
Yeah, that sounds right.
Yeah.
So Chelsea. I mean, Chelsea was the one team I had 3 players from to start the season. But I did spread them. I had Cucurella, I had Palmer, and I had João Pedro. So getting a bit of a one of each type of situation. I still have Palmer at this point, but since he's missing tomorrow, I've got 2 10 million pound midfielders who are missing tomorrow's games or this weekend's game, so I have to move one of them out, and it's probably going to be Saka because he's going to be out for longer by what seems like. But yeah, I mean, I'm going to move one of those 2 out and then decide what to do with my second transfer. I was hoping to keep all my transfers for the first 3 weeks, but I've just not started the way I would have liked to. So
it's not that sort of season, mate. I think it's for the first time I've done a transfer after the first game week for a few seasons. To be honest, it was too much. And that transfer that I made, it turned out to be pretty shit anyway. So I also
the only warning I'd have for Ed, just looking at the last question there, is that should I free hit week 4? And then use 2 transfers to get Palmer and Saka. So I guess just to point out there is you don't accumulate a transfer in a week that you play a chip. So you won't have. So I'm assuming what you mean is if you do the free hit in 4, I'll have 2 transfers in 5. That's not the case. You have the same number of transfers after your free hit as you did before it. So that's just something to be mindful of. And of course, burning through your chips straight away might not be the best of ideas, depending on how things are going to pan out.
You get extra chips this year, though, so you've got to use all of them by the 19th. So, sure, but it is only game week 3. So having there's bench boost and triple. I mean, it absolutely solves the dilemma of when to use them if you burn them through them.
Especially in the first half of the season, there's very unlikely to be any double game weeks before game week 19. Yeah. So if there's a fixture you particularly like, if there's a fixture like a week that you particularly like it makes sense to play your chips this time. again, I mean, I considered triple captaining Saka last weekend. I'm glad I didn't. I mean, he got 6 points. It's not the worst, but like you don't really want to. You'd prefer a 10 or an 11 pointer.
I captained Haaland last week, James, just for reference. So you could have been.
Yeah, no, sure, but I mean, I was considering triple captaining. So like, yeah, it is. I've seen a lot of people playing their chips early this year, which is also I enjoy this dynamic that they've introduced by upping the number of chips. It does mean that people have to make different decisions. I think one of the things with FPL lately is because there's now so much content around it, there's a lot of templateness going around. There's a lot of people playing their chips at the same time. There's a lot of people choosing the same captains. So it is working out well. And like Edvic says in that comment, like, yeah, it's worked out superbly for you. You've got 20 points from your bench. You got 13 points from your triple captain. Like, you can't have started better than that. That's awesome. But just keep in mind with your ranking that a lot of people will still have those chips available. So you are, if you take your 20 and your 13 out and you go backwards, that's where you maybe that's not quite true, because you've overscored in both of those chips.
Yeah.
So you're going to be much better than the average person who plays that chip, but the average person probably hasn't played it yet. So just
it's like the FPL equivalent that we all have a game in hand on you, basically, is what.
Exactly.
But game in hand, he has points in the bank.
Yeah, versus points in the game. Exactly. So, and it's 5 games because it's a game from 1 game from your captain and 4 games from your bench players. So it's five individual players at the left to score. So if you take your sort of scores, divide it by whatever, 24, because you have 12 players a week because of the captain, and then add in, that's most people's average is divided by 24. Your average at the moment is divided by 29. That's really what you're getting there. So that's the basis of how those chips have helped you so far. So yeah, but as I say, I could have chosen to triple captain Parma in week 1, going, hey, Chelsea are going to destroy Crystal Palace, which I didn't think they would, but I thought they'd do okay. And I could have got 2 points from my triple captain, then it's not really worth it. So yeah, points in the bank are better.
Cool. Yeah, fair enough. Can't argue with that.
Let's go around. What are your plans for this week then? So each of you, what have you got? What have you got planned for your team this weekend? Geth,
I'll go
let it ride.
I am going to move. If I move anything, I'm going to move Wan-Bissaka out, and I'm going to bring in a Spurs defender, probably Jed Spence.
Okay.
Do you have any Spurs defenders at the moment?
No. Oh yes, I do. I have Mickey van der Ven.
Oh, you got Van der Ven. Van der Ven's a great enabler because of his price point.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. Where's your total there? I'm having a look at your team.
I started well. I played the bench boost first up just to get out of the way. Right. So because I like to have value in the team, so I can then just sub these people out and focus on the players who are going to play. That's my kind of philosophy, but it's not necessarily right, mind, because I don't normally do very well. But
how about you then, Ben? Is it more trust the process for you? Ben?
Sorry. I had a disastrous. I mean, not disastrous, but I was not happy with the amount of points on my bench last week. I had Wan-Bissaka playing. How do you pronounce this? Estavo, had him on the bench. So I've just, Bissaka on the bench, just move some stuff around, but I'm letting it ride. I'm not making any transfers. I just want to leave it as it is. Then we shall see. But I'm not overly happy. I'm not overly confident. But it's FPL. I'm never overly confident, to be honest. Who is?
Yeah, but Edvix wants to see your team, Ben. I think.
I'm showing it.
Give
me a second.
I think what I've learned with this is far more of a grind than 1 week wins. So it's like, you're better off being consistently solid than having 3 great game weeks and then, going off the cliff. It's all about being consistent, I think, is what wins this in the end.
Yeah. I mean, I've been very disappointed with both Watkins and Beto, to be honest. I thought something was going to happen there.
Well, Beto's taken a price drop, mate, and I'm hoping he starts against Wolves. I'll be there watching him chasing his first touch up the M54. But
maybe I can maybe actually for me the most important thing about my team. I started before we went on air talking about how I love puns because of Zimbabwe. And I always, of course, like most people, I try to give my team name some kind of stupid pun that isn't funny. But this year, I've gone with this. And the most frustrating thing about that is people don't understand it because it's a German pun. Because Mitoma in German literally means with grandma. So mit Oma is with grandma. So now my team name is with grandma and grandpa. So mit Oma and Opa. And this is why my team badge is two old people by the side of football because you're with Midoma.
It's quite clever. I must say, I should have got that because Midoma is pretty close to Afrikaans Met Oma. But
exactly.
Yeah, it makes sense now. That's quite fun. So
that's the most important thing. When I start a new season, forget the players. What bad pun can I use? And this is what I got.
Very good.
What about you, Justin? What are you doing, mate? Sorry, James.
Well, I made a rage transfer, the earliest I've ever done one, which was in the middle of West Ham getting absolutely hammered by Chelsea on a Friday night. So I brought in Dorgu to kind of protect against a price drop. I am either going to bring in Bruno for Cole Palmer, or I'm considering whether I play a free hit because I've got a handful of people who I just don't like right now. A free hit with a view of sorting things out after the international break. But we shall see. I haven't decided yet.
Cool. Yeah, but I think lots of interesting things happen. Sorry.
Yeah, I mean, from my side, I am planning to. I think I'm going to drop Saka basically because of his injury. I'm going to bring in Dorgu. I'm not 100% sold on bringing in two United players. The other person in my sort of consideration is Gibbs White. Forest have looked good. I've enjoyed them. I think they've been solid. Not as defensively solid as I thought they would be. So I was planning at some point to bring in a Forest defender, and then I've kind of gone off that, and I've decided rather to go the United defender with attacking possibility and possibly bringing in Gibbs White. I think that's probably the way I'm going to go. I'm probably going to bring in that. It's also going to free up some value for me to make a different change depending on Palmer's injury. I might be able to go up to Saka. Well, not I might. I would be able to go up to Saka from Palmer if Salah if I needed to. But I'll see. I have another problem in my team, which is Solanke. I really thought he would be the first choice striker for Spurs, and I hopped on that Spurs have a great run bandwagon, brought in their striker, and he's an awkward price. He's 7.5. He's gone down twice already. He's at 7.3 now. So I don't really know where I want to go with that 7.3. So the other option is to not change a midfielder, keep Palmer if he's back, and then go from Solanke to Haaland, which I could also, I think, just about do with the changes if I do the Gibbs White and Dorgu too cheap. Bring in two cheap resources this week, save lots of money this week, and then maybe be able to do that. So I've got a couple of options, planning ahead, and we'll see.
Okay. One final question for everybody then before we go. This is Ben's question. I'm stealing his thunder. Go on, Ben. Ask your question.
I want to know which manager you think will be gone for the first game week after the international break. I'm going Potter.
I think Potter's in danger. I think Potter's in more danger than Amarin. I think Amarin might quit, but I think Potter's in big danger.
Potter's in big danger. There's also stuff going on at Forest with Nuno.
There's a lot. That's an interesting one.
And they're having a conversation after this game week. So after this weekend's fixtures, so it'll be interesting to see. Whilst Potter is clearly the on form and results, likely to be the favourite. I think Nuno's behaved the way he's behaved over the last few weeks towards the owner with a strategy in mind, and I don't think he's entirely happy with Edu and all that stuff that's gone on there. So it'd be interesting. Potentially, it could be Nuno at
The
Forest.
return of Ange, possibly.
Well, United might need someone as well, mate, and he'd be a great fit, Ange, wouldn't he? He'd be a great fit at United.
Can you imagine Harry Maguire playing on the halfway line, high line Ange on Harry Maguire? That'd be great fun.
It'd be amazing. I'd love it.
That'd be great fun. That.
Oh, that's awesome. That's awesome.
Or even De Ligt, like United have no pace in the centre of defence. Like, how on earth would they handle an Ange?
Or midfield.
Yeah, so it'll be interesting. So yeah. Anyway.
All right, guys. Look, that's our hour up. I think it's we'll call out there. James, thank you for joining us. You're welcome back the next time. We probably won't do one next Friday because it's international break and we'll have little nothing to talk about. So it'll probably be 2 weeks' time. But I'll send out the invites and stuff, and we'll get our audience growing. Nice one, everybody.
Everyone.
Thanks, guys.
Thanks for the questions in the chat, by the way. It was a good fun. Edvix.
Yeah.
Thanks, man. It was cool.
Yeah, Edvix, thanks for that, mate. Talk to you soon. Right.
Cheers, everyone.
Cheers,
Bye-bye.
guys. Yeah. Right, just hang on, everybody. Justin always goes. He always goes.
Just as I got no time for this.
I don't know. It's 5 o'clock on a Friday. I'm out here.
It's 6